G'day everyone, it is good to be back with the most popular man in South America and myself, Marcus Armstrong.
I was not expecting that as an intro.
We are recording.
We are.
Um,
That was a real asshole interview.
Yeah.
Intro.
no
Not
worries,
interview.
mate. Yeah, it's good to be back, mate.
It is actually. It's been a while, hasn't
Couch
it?
is really weird.
Yes, it is. So when you were in the UK, I was here. When I was in the UK, you were here.
Yep.
We did have a little overlap. We had a lovely karaoke sesh with.
Our friend Guan Yu Zhu.
Is it? I think it's Joe.
I don't know. Depends. Dealer's choice, really. But wasn't that fun?
I don't think he's ever explained it to us, actually.
No, apparently David Croft thinks it's Joe Guan Yu for whatever reason.
I think so. No. His first name is Joe.
Oh, okay.
Guan Yu is the surname.
Oh, I've never actually asked him before. But yeah, we had a great karaoke night.
It was good fun. I mean, you heard me sing, not for the first time.
Honestly, guys, I just want to reiterate how amazing Callum is at singing to Justin Bieber Baby in particular. James Blunt, what was that one again?
You're Beautiful?
Yeah, You're Beautiful by James Blunt.
That was lovely.
That's a classic. We actually did a bit of a duet that night. DM our dear friend Joe for the video for that. He's not going to give it out, but
He might do, actually, though.
there is a video of Callum that's going to resurface quite soon of him singing Baby by Justin Bieber. That's going to be on my next photo dump. So you're welcome, everyone. It's
Very exciting.
It's one of the best videos ever made.
Right, I'm gonna double check we got everything going here. before
And then we made our way back to America. And what's been happening since, mate? You did a test in Indy last week.
I did. You were watching. You got to see Turn 1 for all its glory.
Oh, mate, there's nothing quite like standing on the race line, pretty much as you are millimeters from the wall at what 230 odd mile an hour. Well, not you. You're about 200, but
Yeah, the afternoon. Yeah, probably when you're out there. No, the we're probably going through that corner. I'd say like when you reach the apex, you're doing 220 maybe.
yeah, it was scary. I felt like my life was in his hands as he came around that corner, and I quickly decided that I didn't want to stand there anymore.
I mean, he was doing his own running. I think that race running though, when you see them last minute dive into turn 1.
No, I mean, jokes aside, it's unbelievable. Like the speed that you guys are going. I think.
It's kind of wrong though, isn't it?
What do you mean?
It's wrong to be going around a track with just walls.
Oh, it's mind-blowing. I think the most incredible thing for me is just to see, like, the first lap after the outlap, whether it was Texas or Indy, like, it's mind-blowing just to stand there on the pit wall and just be like that's actually happening. Like, that's how fast. You have to see it in real life because the videos, they just...
Yeah, but you can get so close to it. That's the thing in real life. Like, in Europe, you can't get that close to the track. Here, you can stand next to it and it's an oval.
Which is almost concerning, like, if there is a shunt and there's, like, debris flying everywhere.
Yeah, you'll have some issues, but, you know...
That was my first instinct, was like, I'm standing right here on the outside of turn 1, but, like, the first grandstand seat is literally, like, 3 meters behind me. It's like, if things go upside down, metaphorically, not literally, it's going to be a genuine...
Anyway, I will give you a little bit of advice.
Okay.
As someone else alluded to, it's best not to think about that.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
You don't want to be thinking about that when you're going out, when you're out, and when you're coming in.
No, but that's the thing. Like, I don't think... I mean, I want to say this with a pinch of salt. I don't think about the danger as much as when I'm just watching from the outside.
Of course, and you don't need to right now. But it is incredible. I mean, like my first time, I came in from probably my first 10-lap run around Texas. My first reaction was, oh, this is just stupid. I don't know who came up with this idea. And then running on your own is fine. Like, you get used to it. Yeah. You're just following that white line round. And then you go out for the first time the next weekend with 26 other cars on track.
Oh, it's bizarre.
You can barely breathe.
What do you mean you can barely breathe?
Well, number one, barely breathe on track in the sense that you've always got someone outside you, coming up to you, boxing, not boxing, coming out the pits. But then also at the same time, you're constantly turning. And you've got this massive vertical G pushing you down. You kind of like fighter pilot...
Do you have to like actively like tell yourself to like relax your muscles?
Yes, because remember, like the first, you're used to it. You go through a high-speed corner, you lean in. You'll probably reiterate to Red Bull Ring F1, but you lean in and you prepare yourself. You brace yourself so that you're not gonna be throwing yourself about. But remember, you're already resting on a pad here, so you end up like trying to lean in and hold yourself. But you need to remember that you can just relax into it and you'll be just as good.
But when you're racing people, I guess you sort of forget that you can actually just rest your head there.
Yeah, well, it's not like that. It's you have it so that you're off center, so that you're kind of with all the G-force just straight.
I said it to you before when we were out for coffee, but whenever I feel upset, I have a look at this video of Callum testing F1 at Red Bull Ring in Sauber or in Alfa Romeo, and I said to him after the test, I watched the whole session live on his onboard on F1 TV.
Thank you.
So I knew exactly how much he was struggling with his neck. And I messaged him, I was like, how was your neck in that session, mate? And he's like, no, I was all good.
Those last 2 laps were not good.
I'm going to try and get Rory to put it on the screen. I'm not going to promise you.
I don't think you're allowed to.
Why not?
Because it's not, all the copyright and stuff. It's not America, mate.
No, you're right. You are right.
So thankfully I'm saved on that. But yeah, the last 2 laps were very hard. But can I just remind you, the only thing I was driving that year was GT cars. And I hadn't driven anything. I didn't even get to do a sim run.
Nor did you do a gym session that year.
No, I did.
I lived with you, man. I know you didn't do a gym.
I did.
You went there like 3 times.
Probably just before that test, yeah. But anyway, I mean, this is harsh. I'm going to make you cut this out.
That's the honest truth, though. We were sitting in the lounge maybe like 2 weeks before that test, and I was like, have you been doing any neck training, mate? And you were like, nope. And then he gets out his little rubber band thing and sits there on the couch and starts like...
This is not staying in this.
But it's true.
This is not staying in this.
It's the truth.
This is putting me in a very bad light.
People want to hear this.
No, I'm messaging Rory and I'm taking this out.
Well, speaking of training, I don't want to, toot my own horn here, but I'm going to...
record, 32 minutes or whatever it was.
45. We're back. So, Barber next week.
Yes, Barber next week.
And how do you train differently for that track? Because it is the most difficult, supposedly.
Well, okay. Firstly, you know me this year. I have trained a lot more.
To be fair to you, you are training.
Thank you. No, I am training and I'm training every day. So, neck is a big thing at Barber. Not as big as the F1 because the peak is lower than the F1. But there's a fair few heavy corners, and then it's the arms. I mean, the load you have there, and the fact that you're probably fighting the car. The only thing that kind of saves it normally as a race is that it's a fuel save race. So you are approaching at a lower speed, and differently to Long Beach because that was all just before braking zones. Whereas this one, you kind of roll it into some of the high speed, I reckon.
Thanks for giving away your secrets.
Mate, I don't have a teammate. Oh no, actually I need to take that out. I didn't have a teammate. And I had to learn this myself. So you have 3
fantastic teammates, yeah.
That you can very much learn from and will happily if not tell you, if not show you.
Yeah. No, I'm lucky. You did right. Well, I guess we should talk about Long Beach because we just finished that race weekend, didn't we?
We've just tickled that pickle, yeah.
Excuse me?
Yeah, exactly.
So
is that sweet? You don't say that in New Zealand.
That's the first time I've ever heard that expression, but
Tickle
I love
the pickle.
Yeah, it's a nice one. So you finished. Where did you finish?
19th.
Nice.
A lap down.
Yeah, I came across you on like lap 3 or something.
Yeah, I had a little brush with the wall, and
not for the first time that weekend.
Not for the first time, but it was a little brush with the wall, and I ripped my rim, and I broke my wheel, and I got a puncture.
Yeah, we were both in the walls a bit that weekend, weren't we, mate?
Yeah.
You went in hard in the wall at FP2.
You know what? I told you this after it looked really bad, or it was going to be a heavy one, but actually it was a reasonably soft shunt. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like my crash in quali.
That was a similar wall, tire wall.
Yeah, you just sort of. I mean, I don't know how to put this. We had an issue that has since been resolved, which resulted in the crash. But I sort of had no option but to just
had an issue as well.
Sort of aim for the softest part of the wall. And
yeah, you were lucky you hit that part and not made it slightly further round to the concrete one.
I was very lucky that that happened at that corner as opposed to any other corners, because
We spoke about this. Turn 4, that was a concrete wall. That would have really
that would
hurt.
have, because obviously we've been spoiled a wee bit in Europe, because every street circuit has these beautiful Tech Pro barriers, which when you hit those, it's like jumping into a pile of cushions, basically.
Yeah.
Here in IndyCar, it's like concrete walls, and if you, I mean, in a way, it's good because if you brush them, you can sort of get away with it.
Not me.
It doesn't like drag you in like that. He obviously didn't brush it; he smashed it.
No, I scraped it.
Where I went off at T9, there was a beautiful, just load of tires, and I just like planted myself straight in the biggest part of it, and it actually wasn't too bad. Like, despite going in there at like 150k an hour, I was pretty.
Was that the speed?
It wasn't a slow
Well,
shot.
it's a second or third gear corner, and our gears are quite long. So yeah, I can.
Yeah, it wasn't actually too bad. The IndyCar people took great care of me.
Oh yeah, they are lovely though. That trailer's cool.
They went and did a concussion test,
Yeah, you have to do it.
passed with flying colours, but it was. I'm not sure if that's a
I'm
good
not
thing
sure
or-
you're meant to see colours after a head injury.
No, but
No, they are. To be fair to them, I mean, that's probably your first experience of it. Lovely people. They
Yeah.
look after us very well. I mean, I broke my hand last year. They took me for a lovely X-ray and broke the news to me about my broken hand. I've had the standard concussion tests after a normal crash, and I've even gone there for stomach issues as well, and
I
they've been
bet.
lovely.
You have stomach issues every single day.
Well, it is American food, so
So you went in the wall T5.
yes.
We've just started FP2. My engineer comes on the radio, my strategist. All right, that's the number 77 in the wall. And I was like,
Uh-oh.
of course it is. Of course.
Surprise! Arnold's in the wall.
I'm pretty sure I even said that.
I bet you did. Well, anyway, long story short,
You got a bit greedy on the curb.
we have this overlay called Dartfish, and that overlays one driver to another on Ghost and to the quickest drivers in that corner. And on Friday, that was me.
Yeah,
I was the quickest
I
one
was watching your...
because I could nail that curb.
It was impressive how much curb you were taking.
And there was a reason why. Because there was no curb. There was a section where they'd removed the curb because one of the IMSA cars or Porsche cars, whatever, had destroyed it. Now, when we arrived back on the FP2, it wasn't noticeable at first. It was only noticeable when I hit it and ended up in the wall that they had added this curb. Yeah, unfortunately, I was the first casualty.
But you took so much curb that lap. Like, it was...
It was necessary.
You, mate, you were asking for trouble.
It was necessary. If you want to be quick, that was the way to
I
do
didn't.
it.
I don't think I touched that curb all weekend, mate.
Yeah, I know. But
But to be fair, the following lap, Renus obviously put it in the wall.
And you know what kind of helped was the fact that he came on the radio and said something changed with that curb, whereas I just thought I was a Muppet and I was too greedy.
Yeah, that's usually the case, so I'm not surprised. But
Anyway,
No, I'm joking.
I hit it. I saw Jesus. I went high up in the air, and then I barely had time, and I went straight in that wall. And that was quite an expensive crash.
I bet.
Front left, front wing, front nose.
How much are we talking? Can you disclose that information?
I think it's pretty common knowledge. That's a few tens of thousands.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was expecting more than that, so that's actually not too bad. But
No, it's still.
then you had to go to quali. You had no experience.
Straight into qualifying on the soft tyres, which again for the second street weekend in a row I have not had experience of. And yeah, it was not ideal, but you know that's how it was.
Yeah.
And then we went into the race, and that wasn't ideal as well. And then after the race wasn't.
I was really
ideal as
pissed
well.
off with you in the race because
I was a lap down.
you were a lap down, but you were like hammering the overtake button, which is like.
I was trying to keep pace with all the people around.
Yeah, but you let Rosenquist through, and then I came behind you. And I was like, "Come on, my mate Ilot's gonna do me a solid here, isn't he? He's gonna move out the way." Instead, he's hammering the overtake button, trying to keep me behind, and I was just like, I burnt like, I don't know, 30 seconds of overtake
Yeah,
behind
but
you.
as soon as you got close to me, I didn't make it difficult for you.
You still like broke where you would normally break, and I was like having to really go in hard. I think you were hoping for a bit of an F up from me, weren't you?
I would have
You
laughed.
definitely
I
were.
would have laughed, but I didn't make it hard for you. I just made it like you
Not
have
easy.
to do me.
Yeah. and I was not happy about it because I did it twice as well.
Look, no, hang on.
Because then we're like towards the end of the race.
Hang on. Let's not start here, because if it was anyone else, they would not be nice to you at all, right? There was no reason for anyone to be nice to you.
To be fair, the guy Pedersen, the other rookie, Pedersen,
yes.
Pedersen, he let me through. He pulled over.
Yeah, but there's a difference. There's one lap down.
He even waved to me. He said, "Ciao, Marcos."
No. There's one lap down, which is what I was, and there's command blue lap down, which is when you're 2 laps beyond lap down, which he was.
Okay.
I was 1 lap down, which means I do not have to let you pass at all.
I'm still learning the rules when it comes to that sort of stuff.
Because there is no rule book, really. But yes, so I didn't have to let you pass. And I didn't let you pass, but I didn't not let you pass. So I apologize, but someone else would have. There will be worse than me.
Explain a little bit what happened at the beginning, because we know how popular you are at the moment in South America. Thank you. So tell us what exactly happened there, because I haven't actually heard your explanation yet. So we'll hear it together.
My race, this is how it went. We were at the back. We weren't that quick on the greens, so we didn't really want to stay on the greens at any point in that race. So we boxed straight away on that yellow, which was lap 2 or 3 once the pits opened.
Yes.
Straight first one.
Yeah.
So got off the greens.
Yeah.
Onto the blacks. I did 1 or 2 laps. And I scraped the wall in turn 2, and there was a little sticky out bit which caught the wheel and gave me a puncture. I came in the pits. I then came out about P10 a lap down, so like in that group,
right in front of me,
which was painful because I didn't want to be there.
That's when Chris, my spotter's like, "All right, there's the 77. There's I like coming out of the pits."
Right. Anyway, let me continue. Let me continue. So I was like, "Oh, this could be a long race at this point." My fault. The other thing was, my first pit stop was not very quick in the first place, so I lost out to 2 positions anyway on that first yellow flag.
Okay.
Then I got the wave by. So what happens is when you're a lap down, they open the pits under safety car. Everyone in front of me boxed, which means I was the first car behind the safety car. I got the wave by, but I got the wave by very last minute.
Yeah.
Which meant I'd only made it half a lap round in front before you guys were about to restart.
Yeah.
I went straight in the pits. And again, we did have another pretty slow pit stop. And I came out directly in front of the restart, right? Straight into turn 3.
I see how this is. Yeah, okay.
So at this point, I had no idea other than the leaders were behind me, right?
0 tire temp.
And 0 tire temp.
Which in an IndyCar is tough when you have no tire temp for whatever reason.
Yeah.
It's like ice.
So anyway, I just knew that they were there. And it wasn't until I looked in my mirror going into turn 4 where I saw a black car with white end plates, which there are 2 cars. There's my teammate's car and there's Newgarden's car. Yeah. So I wasn't quite sure at this point, but because I just covered it like normal. And when you don't want to lose the lead lap, and all you guys had boxed early, so I knew there was going to be a fuel save at that point, right?
Yeah.
For everyone behind.
Yeah.
So anyway, and then I drove around like normal, and there was already a gap. So there was no point at that point. I just could go away. And then, I came back after the race, and let's just say I'd annoyed
a few million people.
Potentially, yeah.
We still love you a lot.
I know.
Everyone watching at home's from the UK, so.
I got a lot of love and support after all of that. After some not love and support, it's all good.
Yeah.
And then, I then went for a lovely beach visit in Malibu.
Have a couple of drinks. Decompress.
Chill out. I then was at the airport. I met Will Power at LAX. We had a good chat. And then I stopped over in Chicago and I met Pato and we had a good chat. And, life moves on.
Everyone's very sympathetic. So it wasn't a good weekend for you then?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't really. But, we have these, we have those.
Yeah, you live and learn. I must say that our car was a dream to drive all weekend.
I think every bloody podcast you come out with the same sentence.
Oh, thanks, boys. CGR, what a wagon. It was a pleasure from start to finish. But it's one of those things where, I improved so much through the weekend.
That's wonderful.
That it's like... Oh, no, I'm saying that I start in the wrong place, really.
But you're a rookie. You don't know the track. of course you're
To be
gonna
fair, the
start.
tracks here are difficult to learn because they're so bumpy.
Yeah, you have to drive around the bumps, not around the track. That's the thing.
That is probably one of the more difficult things, I think, is like learning where the bumps are and how to drive through them.
Yeah.
Because we're so spoilt in Europe. Because every year they're resurfaced.
Yeah, but you can approach every track the same way because it's so smooth. So you just know that if this corner's shaped like this, roughly that's going to work. Whereas here, that's not the case.
No.
You have to like either dive in when there's no bumps and do everything later, or do everything early and then hope that you're straight over the bumps for
Scott's
later.
very good at that sort of stuff. Or I suppose he has been doing it for longer than I've
You'd
been
hope
alive.
so. You'd hope so.
But whenever the circuit is particularly bumpy, Scott just knows what to do immediately. And as well, I think Ericsson as well is like
but he's
pretty
been
mega.
super strong this year. Super strong. From the results as well.
Yeah.
It's been cool.
Well,
but you came in. I watched your first couple of runs at Long Beach, and it was all right.
Yeah, but I was obviously not as quick as my teammates at that point.
No, but I mean, again, the track's fresh. Okay, you get the extra set of tires, but the track's fresh. It's going to rubber in. Well, that's why we don't go out to start with, because we wait for it to get a bit grippy.
I'm looking forward to Barber though.
It's a
The
very
closest
cool
thing
track.
to a European track, isn't it?
Yeah, that. Even Road America. I mean, Road America's going to be resurfaced now, so that's going to be fast. Fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard. I shouldn't.
It's a
disclose
great
that.
track.
Yeah,
It's a great track.
No, I think Barber's going to be the most like similar circuit to a European track. So
You'll enjoy it.
Lottie for pole, we reckon, or at least front row.
I reckon it's
Behind Armstrong.
I have a good chance in the Fast Six.
Yeah. Well,
That's where we started to click last.
the
year.
last road course was Laguna Seca, right?
P2,
P2.
yeah.
No pressure, mate.
Yeah, I let Willie P get his
85th pole or something like that.
I think it was 69th or 68th or 69th pole to break the record. Should have been Ilotti's, but I messed up the chicane thing.
All right. Well, I think that pretty much covers Long Beach. Did we even get to any of the nitty gritty? I don't even remember what happened. I finished 8th, by the way, if you're wondering.
It's good.
Where'd you finish?
19th.
That's right. I already asked you that. We'll catch you soon, guys.
Thank you very much.